Over time, I've been grinding, put my all in this. In my prime, off the line, raging hard with the hits. God is good, picked me up when I was 30 in the pits. Being drugged through the dirt, you keep me warm, sweatshirt. Scarred up and done hurt, and in the end, it's worth the hurt. He never said that it would be easy. He told me that he would never leave me. He never said that it would be easy. He told me that he would never leave me. New whip, new day, new smile, okay. My light shine, sun bright, we go nuts, no payday. I flip the script on Satan today. He won't win, there's no way. He won't win, there's no way. All the time, God's good, God's good. All the time, and all the time, God's good, God is good, God is good. Provide for the place. I'm just flexing, plenty blessed. Praise Lord, Smith and West. God is good, God is good. Provide for the place.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a public service announcement. And I am the one and only B-I-R-D, Bird. And I am flyer than fly. And if you want anything in life, you gotta work for it. Let's go.
You want a good life, you want a big house, you want a nice car, you want to be a star, you want a pretty face, you want those tight abs, you want to get slim, well you should hit the gym and work. Just put the work in. Work. Just go put the work in. Work. Just put the work in. All right. Work. Just go put the work in. Okay, let's go put some work in. Let's go hit the gym then. Let's go grab them dumbbells. Dope boys go grab they scales. I'm talking about hard work. I'm talking about dedication. I ain't got time for vacations, cause success is what I'm chasing. I'ma work hard to the death of me, and I have a dream, it's the recipe. I see the throne, I see the top, and that seat is destined for me. Cause I'ma ball out, yes I'ma win. Bank account, times 10, set the trends, getting paid. I'm in the gym like every day. I work. And I don't know what you own. I work. And I ain't sitting at home. I work. And I ain't stuck on the phone. I'm focused in my zone. Cause I'ma make it on my.
You already know though. Check it out. Hey. They wanna ask how long I'll be here. I say forever, let's just be clear. I'ma be loving you all of my life, for the rest of my life. I'll be loving you all of my life, for the rest of my life. I'ma be loving you. Now everybody that's up in here, throw your best up so it's clear. I'ma be loving you all of my life, for the rest of my life. I'll be loving you all of my life, for the rest of my life. I'ma be loving you.
I just wanna show you that it's certain.
Okay.
When my hands up, I call it worse.
Okay.
Yeah, I know it's real. Yeah, I know it's real.
Oh, dear.
And I ain't got to question how I feel. Give me purpose. No, I never ever nervous. Everything you say, believe him. No, I never ever leave him. I ain't stepping down off this word. I'ma keep this thing clear, that's for sure.
Wanna ask how long I'll be here? I say forever, let's just be clear. I'ma be loving you.
I know y'all want a cold or whatever it is. I know y'all have a good Saturday. Welcome to another edition, another episode of the session Bible Beats and Bars. I'm gonna co-host Trey the Drummer. DJ Vincent, oh my goodness, you just did it again. So, is it the cold weather? Was it the other day when it was warm? What got you into that?
It's a combination. It's all day and a little bit of wintry mix, man. Some of that rain and sleet mixture.
You want people to get that hot cocoa with some marshmallows and stuff. That's what you want to do.
And different reasons, different CDs at the same time.
Oh, see, here you go. We started getting already different reasons for different seasons. And today, we're going to be talking about some serious stuff today. We got a very, very Oh my goodness, the accolades are like 50 pages long. That's how important she is. I'm so excited. I know you're going to be excited. So go ahead. It's time to go to the kitchen. I know you just probably had dinner already. So now it's probably time for dessert or whatever. So make sure you get something to eat and then we'll get you some water or some juice or something to drink. Because today we're going to have some fun on the session. Final Beats and Bars. Before we get started, I kind of want to talk to you just a little bit. Man, it's Valentine's weekend. I know all the lovebirds out there are going overboard. All the guys going overboard. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. So today's test, I just want to share with you because it kind of correlates with Valentine's and what just happened to us today. Gotta tell you a story. We'll talk about it real soon before the DJ gets you all pumped up again. Just bear with me, okay? We just having a conversation. Me and you. It's just me and you, okay? Just me and you. Listen up. The scripture was brought for Philippians 2:5. Again, Philippians 2:5. It says, in your relationships with one another, have the same mindset. Oh, man. Oh, I gotta start over who I need, okay? I gotta start over who I need because it's just that good. Here it is again. In your relationships with one another, have the same mindset as Jesus Christ. All right, y'all. I gotta bring up a friend of mine. She gonna bring up something with her too. We just had, I guess, from last week, come up here out of nowhere and just bring us something. So if I could get my homie to come up to the stage, Miss Zayna to come up with our gift that came by. Wow, when she comes up, we're going to talk about one day showing us, oh my goodness, you don't believe this. My mind is blown right now. just wait till you see this. Wait till you see this. What's up? How you doing? How you doing? I am doing wonderful. You have to put your spot like that. That's what I do. But don't you be nervous. I was on with you. Who was all right? I mean, I'm still here. I can say that much. Oh, wow. Girl, you gonna have me shout like that, girl. Tell us how I was doing real quick, because that was a real tough word. I'm still here. That's all I get. Oh. Overview. Grandma, overview, grandma. Okay, here it is. Tell us your name.
I'm 12 in exactly 2 weeks. I'll be 13.
Oh! That's why she's excited that she's still here. She's ready to be a teenager. That's all that is. That's all that was. That's why she's ready to be here. So let me just tell you a little bit about what she told me. So last week, y'all heard a beautiful songbird that hit the stage. So they actually have a bakery. They call it Baker Bakery. Everyone say it with me. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Baker Bakery. I just did that. But anyway, Baker's Bakery, they brought us some treats and some gifts. So I just can't wait. I can't wait until everyone gets and takes gifts and say, oh, look at God. Look at God. Baker's Bakery in the building, y'all. We live. We are live right now. This is not scripted. This is literally just happening. What do you still say? So this is meant to be. So I have to go to the stage. Big owner of Vander of Baker's Bakery. Why you get us up together? Y'all put on the spot. I put everybody on the spot. That's how we do it. It's cold weather put us on the spot after Tuesday too. Come on up. Give me a round of applause. Y'all talk to your TV and see your phone. Give me a round of applause. Come on up here. Scoot up. So, how you doing today? You doing all right? I am ready to never join you, man. I cannot wait. So, before you left, I gotta tell you two stories. You probably knew when it happened. Before you left, I was so ready to dive into the baby. I was like, no! Wait! We gotta turn everything into it. So, just tell us a little bit about what you brought and what you gave us because it looks so delicious. So, just tell us a little bit about what you got.
I actually have some chocolate, and so they're little mini chocolate cakes that have our chocolate ice, and then we have our little bite-sized strawberries and cream. And then we have everything is made fresh. All the sauces, all the icing. Good at what we do. But my gosh, over here, and then the big part.
She said, my favorite child, she said, the red velvet cookie. We can hold it up now. We can hold it up.
I'm gonna say for the early days. I'm gonna say for the early days. I'm gonna say the cooking and stuff. And I was trying to do this live, y'all. I think I made it. What was I on? I was thinking. All right, here we go. Y'all like, okay. I'm so proud of this. Y'all hear me talking.
Okay, y'all can find us obviously on Facebook, facebook.com/makebakery256, and then Instagram, instagram.com/makebakery256, and then of course our email as well. So bakebakery256@gmail.com.
Okay, family. I got my bearings back together, and I can finally talk now. DJ, you was turning it up on the ones and twos. You was turning it up, y'all. Y'all, we got to have us some fun today. Y'all already know what time it is. I gotta bring up the man with the plan who's always busy. I don't think you're ever sleep, y'all. Do you really sleep, DJ? You think you're out? You don't sleep. You don't get tired, huh? We still say, y'all. We still say. I promise we still say. So, you, without further ado, put your hands together for the man with the master plan. And this shit, oh my God, it's just so big. Give me one round of applause. Clap your hands for MinisterfredII. Let's get it. Oh man, hey, welcome. Man, what's going on? What's going on? Already. Yes, he is. He definitely is. Hey, I mean, it's that time of weekend. It's that time of weekend. It's just how we do it. All right, before we go any further, you guys have to taste what I just experienced, man. Yeah, because y'all was doing stuff. I was feeling some kind of way. Man. So we didn't get the. So it's community, y'all gotta get some. It's community. We gotta share. So we can have our helper come back up with the drink one more time. All right, here y'all go. All right. All right, y'all watch it. Y'all say, y'all put it in there. Say go. 1, 2, 3, go. Y'all say. I told you. Yeah, they got to go over here and talk. They got to go over here and talk about this because it don't taste good. This is heavenly. Yeah, it was experience. It was heavenly. Like, I'm very picky on my sweets. And practice social distancing. Bring your hands inside. Yeah. But tell us, what's the show? What we got going on? We want to say, first of all, on behalf of, we'll grab that real quick, man. On behalf of us here at No Wonder, yeah, we want to wish you all a wonderful, wonderful Valentine's Day and an entire weekend. We want you to know that we appreciate you, whether you have a significant other or not. It's about the love that we can share from one to another. I love the scriptures, but I was thinking about the same line. Again, who does that? Because, I don't regulate what the Holy Spirit does, number one, nor do I do with the co-host. And so, man, you were spot on. I read that this morning. And I was like, oh, we need a really good scripture, text. And you literally read when I first read the Holy Spirit. We have a special guest today, and she is amazing. And I'm going to just kind of give a few special highlights as Professor sets this cue for us to actually see it. And we're going to do it live in person. And actually, we're going to have it on the big screen, and you'll get a chance to see it home. But our guest, I met this amazing woman on the campus of UAH. And it was an amazing time because it was the first time that PWI, predominantly white institution, did something significant moving into this era. They had a Black African American woman who not only, and let me tell you, she was the vice president. You hear me? Vice president on the campus of UH, and she's going to tell you her actual role as we talk to her about it. And then she was the first African American Black woman to sit in the seat of diversity and equity, and now we have inclusion as well. But before this was happening, it was just kind of getting the scene. She was literally a trailblazer and a pioneer. And then she also is a prolific counselor in the area of relationships and corporate and so on. Dre will tell you more, but we are really, really grateful to this wonderful woman. And she is literally, she has made Black history in our community, and she's doing it around the world with her profession. So I want to set it up that way, but we want to salute and celebrate our women, especially our women of color today. And then also for the men in their lives and for us as Black men, period. Like, we really need some help sometimes on being lovey-dovey. And how do we do that? How do we communicate? And how do we do it in a way? Because, the scripture says it's not what goes in the mouth, it's what comes out of the mouth. It's one thing you say, I love you, and then you say something stupid or you say something harsh, and you kill the moment, or you kill the opportunity to actually embrace and let your woman, the queen of your life. And for parents, or single parents, men especially, how do we love our little daughters? You speak into their life. And so today's session, we're going to get right in. It's so deep because we need this information as men, especially Black men and men of color in general, because all people are having color. But during this time of the Valentine's weekend, and for us who do not have a significant other or just a friend we're interested in, then you can make sure you can chime in. Professor X, as it goes to our YouTube page, put the question, Professor X is going to throw it up. Our guest will then share her expertise. And so I want to set it up that way. So why don't you give her the official, play a little music, let's do this thing, and let's introduce her then.
All righty, so Minister Fred, you did give me some background on our guest today. The accolades were just so cool and rich. I was just amazed by everything that I was reading. I actually had to do some research on some of those things. I was like, let me get some understanding of of who she is. So I just want to give you a little bit of background on her. So bear with me here as I read this. Our guest today is Miss Dolores H. Smith, is a licensed professional counselor and a diversity, equity, and inclusion subject matter expert. Yes, she's an expert of that. Ms. Smith retired after 35 years of service at the University of Alabama in Huntsville, UAH, where she held 2 successful vice president positions. Initially as vice president of student affairs, and her second position as vice president for diversity and multicultural affairs. During her UAH tenure, Mrs. Smith held progressively responsible administrative positions in the area of race, culture, ethnicity, and inclusion. Following her service to
diverse student population, faculty, staff, and administrative constituents. She was appointed by the UAH president to head and develop the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion of UAH campus.
If you're called in, your sister, you're qualified to be doctorates, and they say we need to develop something that's for the greater good. I mean,
that's very rich. It doesn't get any better than that.
It doesn't.
The president calls you in. It's like, yo, hey, this is yours. Do what you do. Make it happen. That's huge. I think that's almost like a dream for some people.
It is. Wait, you know what? Let's bring her in, because I think we need to just kind of dig on that as we go in. So why don't you drop a beat? Professor, we good to bring her in and all that good stuff. Well, I didn't put her hands together. Dr. Dolores Smith. Woo! Oh, I'm good with this here. What's going on, celebrity? How you doing?
I am well. And how's everyone there?
We're good. Hang on, we're gonna get the tech. We getting you up to the right level. How you doing?
Okay. There.
Yeah.
I was asking how everyone is doing. I'm trying to see if I can help. Is that better?
One more second. We're gonna get this thing right quick.
Okay, I was.
All right, good. Wait.
I was getting quite a bit of feedback. I was going to work with it, but it was quite a bit of feedback.
Right. Can you hear us now?
I can hear you just fine now. Oh, that's much better.
Is that better?
Awesome.
Yes.
All right. So let's put our hands together for Dr. Dolores Smith. Let's do it official, and we'll get this picture in, and then we'll be ready. Thank you for your patience, folks. Yeah, there we go. How you doing?
I am doing well. How's everyone there?
We're awesome, amazing. How you doing?
I am well, doing very, very well. Thank you for having me.
Oh, well, listen, thank you for being our guest. Like, this is Black History Month, and you have made so much history in our community that it would just be crazy of us not to have someone of your stature, your experience, to be able to really share some really nuggets. Because, like, you know, as the black love, we messing up a lot. You know, not intentionally, but, you know, especially as brothers, we need help. You know what I'm saying?
Everyone needs help, but I will tell you, all of us should know that whatever gifts God has posited in us, He means for us to give back and to make sure that we are making the path easier for people who will follow us. That is always the responsibility of every single person, all the time.
Wow. So let's dig in. We want to go back to your history. Like, you were the first vice president. Could you tell us what that was like in a time of PWI? And shout out to UAH, obviously. Salute for them taking a great step in that direction. And, you know, I just think that's amazing. And then we're going to get in on some relational stuff, and we have some questions for you, and then people will probably chime in. So tell us about why was that so important, and what that experience was like, and how long you were there.
Okay, and I'm gonna, when I give a little bit of time, a timeline, those of you who are young, it would sound ancient. I know that, and so I will tell you that, but I came to the university in 1980, and even then, among the administration there at the university, I was not immediately in administration, but I was directing student development services. That was in line with my training as a psychotherapist. And so made some moves to being the director of student development services, then became an assistant vice president. And then a lady who was my boss at the time, who was a vice president, actually asked me if I would be interested in the position of vice president. She was going to be retiring in about 5 years. I didn't think I could do that job, huge job, because you are over about 7 or 8 departments. And at the time at the university, there were, I think, about 8,000 students. And I would have been responsible for everything connected to a student on that campus.
Wow.
I could do it, but she convinced me that I could. I applied for the position and was awarded the position of Vice President for Student Affairs in 2000 and, let's see, I think it was 2000, was the year 2000. And I took it on, and I knew I was the first female, first woman of color. And I had learned quite a bit, because when you are the Vice President for Student Affairs and Director of Students, there were students there from 102 countries. Wow. You know the culture, race, and ethnicity of all those groups. And I worked with that from 2000 to 2009. Some of you don't know about a lawsuit that took place for 11 years between HBCUs in the state of Alabama and PWIs. HBCUs, particularly Alabama A&M University and Alabama State, sued the state of Alabama for inequities in appropriations from the budget. The case went on for about 11 years, and it ended in about 2008, 2009. Now, the directive from the state to PWIs, predominantly white institutions, was that you will have a chief diversity officer on your campus. That person will report directly to the president, and they will carry out issues related to diversity, equity, and inclusion. President looked around. I was happy as a bug in a rug over in student affairs, and he gave me a call. And he doesn't really ask you. He tells you that you are going to build an office of diversity. And he asked me if I would do that. Now, I was hesitant about doing it because I was used to working with students. In the new position of Vice President for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, I would be working with faculty, staff, students, and the administration to set policy and to help with all of those issues. So in 2009, I became then the Vice President for Diversity and Multicultural Affairs. And I did that from 2009 to 2018 when I retired.
You know what's amazing? Come on, we got to put our hands together.
That's some rich history
like,
right there.
Like this is like real, right now, relevant Black history. Like this is not the 60s, it's not the 70s. This is like you had a major tenure from 80 to 2018. I mean, that's the game. And literally, I remember when I first met you through, shout out to Mr. Kenny Anderson, who's a mentor who always supported me growing up with the hip hop, especially clean hip hop. But I remember I was with him. He said, man, I want you to come and I want you to meet this young lady. She's an amazing person. And I wasn't in school and I was trying to decide to get back in school. And I remember meeting you at the students' team. You had the office when you was because they created multicultural affairs, folks. Like that was the beginning of what you see now.
Yes.
It was the very beginning. And
yes,
you were that person.
Yes.
A Black woman, a woman of color, of course, that's not the political term, but you was a Black woman sitting at the helm, creating something that was not even there.
Correct.
I have to jump in and ask a question here because that's on the business side of things, correct? And on the business side of things, for a woman to sit in that type of chair with that type of responsibility, there has to be some type of kickback because you're actually changing some things. So just tell us a little bit about, maybe not too much, about some of those experiences that you had to deal with when it comes to you're trying to implement different ideas and helping students and different things of that nature. Give us a little bit of experiences you had to deal with during that time.
For both the student affairs and the diversity as well, both, you mean?
Kind of, sort of, either or. You pick the best one that would give the biggest message?
Right, yeah. We'll leave that to you. So
Oh.
if you want to do 2 shorts, you got that too.
I'm with
Yeah. With the students, when I was vice president for student affairs, and you have students from 102 countries. For those of you who are listening, there is a reference book all of you ought to try to get sometime, and it's called KISS, K-I-S-S, KISS, Bow, or Shake Hands. It is a tome book, huge, but it tells you the social mores and nuances of countries, what you do, what not to do, what to say, what not to say. That became my Bible with students. So you do need to always learn and know your cultures of all the people around you. So kiss and bow or shake hands. So try to get that. It will be very helpful to you. So I had to understand, for example, even though I was a vice president for student affairs, when a Middle Eastern man student came into my office, I knew several things. Keep my seat, because his head had to be higher than my head. So knew not to extend my hand to shake his hand because he is not supposed to touch me. For things that you know. Now, was I the vice president for student affairs? Absolutely. That position could have told me that I could have stood, I could have extended my hand, but out of respect for the student, the male student, you don't do that. And I wasn't intimidated by that at all. So I had to learn with working with students from that many countries. You had to know the social mores and nuances of who you are speaking to. For example, and I'll give one more for the diversity part, still with the students. If you're meeting with someone who is from a Latinx group and they come into your office, the first thing you want to do is come from behind your desk. You sit alongside the person. You don't get right into the business right away because that's just not the way things are done. You take about 5 or 6 minutes. You talk about how things are going, how was their day, how's their family, and then you get right into the business. You come from around the desk. You don't want to have any barriers. But if that is a student from Asia, from who is Chinese or Japanese, you do just the opposite. You keep the distance. You get right into what they came for. You keep it short, no emotion, because that's all they came to do. And so you have to know those things when you're working with students. When I became vice president for diversity, I knew I had to build the office. So I contacted people across the country who had similarly started offices, and I did my homework, so I knew how to build. When I first went into the office, the president's cabinet is called. This is the president and the vice president. They were all white males, still are, but they were all males, and they were all white, and they were all older than I was. I remember the first time sitting there and reverted back to what I learned from my training at the University of Florida in my profession. And I want all of you to pay attention to this, no matter where you are in a new situation, especially in a new job. You spend the first 1 or 2 months observing more than talking. You learn the power players, you learn who has the ear of the president, you learn who has the money, has that control. So you take a lot of time and you pay attention to how things are laid out, and then you find your place. But you spend the first 2 or 3 months just paying attention about what's going on, and you will find your way. The hardest thing for me in working with the men, that's very different, a difference between men and women. Guys they will be right in your face. They'll tell you what they think, and they expect you to be just as upfront and honest with them and tell you what they think. But there were times when they would tell me some pretty harsh stuff that would really hurt my feelings, and I would want to cry, but you can't do that when you're a girl. So I remember many times I would go to my car and I'd have to debrief because it's a different interchange when you're working with men, and you cannot ever let them see you cry. You just can't do that. But I had to grow some tough skin because when you come to the table, it's all business. And you cannot bring your feelings into it. And if you're going to fight for your department, you had better bring your A game every day. And that's what I had to learn.
Wow.
Wow, that's, man.
You know, we celebrate you and all Black women who are, let me just pull this out. We celebrate our Black and brown women, especially the women of color, because it's so important to realize that at the end of the day, you're not only valued, but you are particularly special because of who you are. And then when you add the talent, the skill set, the educational advancement, the excellence, the degrees, and then we have to, as men, have to really say thank you and appreciate those moments. And so we want to say thank you, Dr. Delois, and you're a doctor. But I love the fact that you stay humble, but you know, we do want to say thank you for taking time to be with us.
Well, you all are very welcome, and I say to certainly to Minister Fred, and I don't know the other gentlemen who are there, but I mean this sincerely, is that if there is any time that I can be of service and help to any of you, I am more than pleased to do that, because I know this: there are some things you only glean by living, getting experience. I don't mind telling people at this point in time, I am 67 years old. Wow. And there are many things that
wait, you don't look 67. Come on, y'all.
Not in the least. It never cries. Give a big round of applause for that one. Oh my goodness.
Smooth skin.
I will tell all of you this, is that there are things between your age that you cannot know until you have lived it. I want to encourage you that those in your circle, in your sphere, who are older, spend time with them. They can save you a lot of work and a lot of headache because they've been there, and they are a treasure trove of knowledge. So whomever's around you that's older, always consult with them. The scriptures, counselors make victory. And so spend a lot of time with people who are older, but I try to give back to people your age, because there's a lot of things you don't know. And if I can help you and strengthen you on your way, I'm glad to do it, because I had helped me.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Wow.
I appreciate that.
Okay, so play just a smidge of music while we go to the transition to the relationship. So, like, we got questions, right? So, because you know us men, and we're gonna start with the guys, and if there's some ladies you want to chime in and what have you, let me ask a question. From your experience, and then also from as a woman who is well learned and have gone through life at 67, what would you say to us young brothers or men in general that would be maybe the top 1, 2, or 3 things that we should always remember and apply to have a healthy relationship with our queens or significant other?
Okay. I'm going to give some pensive thought to that at first, most significantly. And let me say this to you, and I don't mean for it to sound, up in the air, ethereal. But truly, I hope that first and foremost, you will have and cherish your personal relationship to God, and follow the word of God. And the reason why I'm telling you that, you have got to have something greater than yourself, from whom you draw your strength, and you draw guidance from that. If you respect and fear and love God, you will respect and love your queen. Because you know one day you will leave this world and you will be answerable to him, and you will have to give an account for why and how you treated your queen. he makes it very clear that if you do not treat her with love and respect and dignity, your prayers will be hindered. Wow. And your life will not flourish. So that's the first and foremost thing I would say to you in that. You've got to have something greater than yourself from which you draw your guidance that teaches you how to treat her. The second thing I would say to you, and I'm saying this to you because I have this with my husband, we will be married this year, 42 years.
Wow, wait. Let's put our hands together. 42 years?
42.
Wow.
How old I am.
And she, as I am to my husband and he to me, truly, he is my best friend. Back and he has mine. If there's anybody in this world that he can depend on, it's me. And I will do anything for him. I will support him, not if he's doing something wrong or evil, but he knows that I'm his best friend and he is mine. And so you need to understand that she is your best friend and you need to treat her as such. And here's the last thing that men need to understand. And all of you asked me as a woman speaking to the guys, listen very carefully to me here. You probably will not hear some women say this, and some of them, even when I say it, even they get upset with me. But I'm saying it from the standpoint of a Christian woman and a psychotherapist. What she wants most from you is to know that you protect her, that you are her champion, and that she is the only one. She will respond to that 24/7 all the time. She wants a champion, she wants a protector, and she wants someone that she knows that in your eyes, she's the only one. You do that, and you will have a very happy queen.
All right. Wow.
Man.
Woo. Hey, she said it now. We ain't make that up. That wasn't the guy's opinion, right?
It's true. And a lot of times women don't want to hear that, but I'm telling you, behind closed doors in the psychotherapy sessions, that is what they want.
All right now.
Wow. You have another question?
Man, I'm truth be told, I'm sitting here gleaning.
Okay.
I'm learning right now because she's dropping so many jewels, precious jewels, of how to be a spiritual king, pretty much. How to be a spiritual king and build a kingdom.
Right.
Because if you're not building yourself inside, you cannot purposely be the leader or the champion that initially you're supposed to do. So right now, I got to glean right now.
Okay, that's fine. That's
I'm
cool.
still learning. I need to learn some more.
Well, I'm learning too. I just tossed a question. All right, so let's dig a little on a different note. You are a single parent, and then obviously there's been issues before because you're not together with you have children, right? And there's this young man or woman that now comes into that person's life and says, I really like you and I want to support you. What would you say to that individual that comes into a blended situation where it's a single parent with kids and they have things that are in their mind, the past, and yet trying to figure out how do we grow? Does that make sense?
You're broaching the question to me or to someone else?
To you. You're the expert.
Okay. Now, I'm going to toggle back and forth between being a psychotherapist and then answering also. Okay. Now, here's a mistake a lot of people make is that we go too much on chemistry, of clicking with someone, instead of cognitively understanding where this person is coming from. Emotion and chemistry will not sustain the relationship. It's a part of it. It's a very important part, but it will not sustain you. Whomever he or she is, when you're a single parent, you had better get to know who they are behaviorally, psychologically, and emotionally. And that takes time to do that. So you really do need to spend some time going through premarital counseling with a seasoned professional person who can help you all with that. Because understand, during this dating and getting to know this person, they are showing you the very best part of who they are, because they want you to accept them and to love them, and they want the relationship. It is the day-to-day, everyday living is where you really are going to see them. They do not show you that during the dating part with everyone. So when you go through premarital counseling, there are several different types of, if that therapist is worth his or her salt, that will delve into a lot of personality and psychological issues that you need to know up front. You also need to know a lot about their family history, how they were raised, what is their relationship like with their mother, their father, because believe me, they're bringing all of that right into your relationship. How they view children, how they view the role of males, how they view the role of females. And if you're a woman, you look at the way, you look at his relationship with his mother, because the way he treats her is the way he's going to treat you. If you are a man, you need to look at her relationship with her father, because if her relationship with her father is tumultuous, if it's confrontational, she has learned all of that from him. She will treat you the same way. So you need to spend time not doing just a let's go out to dinner and let's go to a movie. You need to try to be with that person in as many different situations as you can. Spend time with old people, serving them. Spend time with children with them. Spend time volunteering in the community with them. Certainly go to church with them. How do they handle money? Be in as many different situations as you can with that person, because the different situations reveals to you who they really are in those situations. If they are unkind to children, they will be unkind to your children. I can keep going, but
that's good. No,
Yeah,
that's great, because I think it's just so important. Like, it's so, and I'm gonna just do from the perspective of us being African American or Black minority population, and I say that only because that's the title. When we look at all the brokenness throughout our history, and even when you had the plantation, it would the man was a breeder, and then they would sell them, so they never developed in a lot of senses that relationship where I'm gonna take care of my king. At the end of the day, let me do this. At the end of the day, what happens is we begin to see that everything that's going on in our life is in broken pieces, and I'm learning that now, even in just my friendships. I'm learning that in how I treat or how I perceive and all of that. And so I think what you said is so important, Doc, is that when we don't do the research, we don't do the homework on a continual base, and the flame is just basically how much fun can we have in the moment.
Yes.
Minister Fred, with you saying that, it kind of did trigger a question. And when she was explaining the dating process, it leads me to the question of what do you feel, what do you suggest is the ideal time set or time span that you should actually date?
That's going to depend on the people. Let me explain that to you.
Because that's deep. Great question.
If you are an older, seasoned person and you have been out on the dating and getting to know people for a minute, you've been out there a while, you kind of know what you're looking for in people. And you might be able to even know somebody within about 3 or 4 months. You could, if you're older, and you understand, you know people. Right. Long to figure them out. But be patient with me here, young people, compared to me. I'm saying, but if you are between like 20 and about 35 years old, you had better spend a good year or longer getting to know that person. That's a minimum, and it ought to be that actually, because you really don't know anybody in 3 months. You can't possibly know them in 3 months. You can't. It's not possible.
Right.
In about a year, you will have seen them cycle through a lot within 12 months. And but if you're a teenager, up to about 20 years old, you need to be at it about 10, 15 years. So on the maturity of the people involved, because I've seen older people, maybe, my age or older, you don't have to go through a whole year of dating somebody. You pretty much know what to look for. You know what you want. You know if they compliment you or not. But if you're someone who's between maybe about 20 years old, up to, like I said, 30, 35, you really should not be trying to enter into a relationship permanently until you've known that person at least a year. You really shouldn't, because you really don't know them.
Right. Wow.
Man, I think a lot of younger people really need that message, because the accelerated rate of dating and marriage is so high that is also accelerating the divorce rate, because again, we're finding that within the 6 months, I guess the average time, I guess that's a suggestion or a guess, that you're really not knowing the person. Like we're just saying, we're getting the best version of what we want someone to see until the day to day. So, right, when things hit the fan, when you're in your emotions, then you're like, hold on, I don't even care about right now. This is just how I'm feeling. So you have to make that conscious decision.
I love that. You have a question?
I just like I don't know if it's a question or not, but I like to highlight the point of seeing the example, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of young folks, like they expert coming from this brokenness, like say for instance, you raised by a single mom, somehow they also are expert in relationships at it all of a sudden, which is the wrong idea, because we need to be open, you know what I'm saying? And then they also accept that we missed out on certain things in life, so we don't have the answers, and we need to, just be teachable.
Right. So with that being said, another question, how does one develop openness, or what are some things that we can do, male and female, learn how to be open so that the communication works? We're going to talk about communication on the back as a finale, but that openness, how do you develop openness when you're broken? How do you speak to that?
Okay, openness when you're broken. And is that what you said, Minister Fred?
Yes. You coming from a broken situation, or brokenness in your life, bad situation, hurt, don't trust, whatever the case. But then you realize you don't want to be by yourself for the rest of your life. You really want to be a better you, or I want to be a better me. Give us a few things that we can work on practically.
The first thing you want to not do. Okay, the first thing you want to not do is don't paint everybody with the same brush.
Wow. Wait, say that again. Please say that again. That's crucial right there.
You have been hurt, whatever way you have been hurt, don't paint everybody subsequent to that with the same brush. Everybody's not like that. Let me give you an example. A personal example from me. I was a freshman in college, and I was engaged to be married that coming December. The guy I was engaged to was at Bethune-Cookman, and I was at the University of Florida, and I got a Dear Mary letter from that person. And let me tell you, That was one of the most devastating things in my life. I stopped going to class. My life was over because I had the embarrassment of having to call off wedding plans. And so I did the wrong thing. I decided, and hold on to your hats, because this is, understand now, this is years ago.
Right.
I decided that I hated all men, that they were unkind, unfeeling. My business at that point whenever I got the opportunity, that I would hurt them and embarrass them as I had been hurt and embarrassed. And I became very good at it. Wow. Until I met my husband at UF, and it wasn't overnight, but he changed my heart. But I look back at how many relationships, good relationships, potential good relationships that I messed up because I was angry and I was hurt and I was resentful. So don't paint everybody with the same brush when you have been hurt. If you need some help dealing with your stuff, get the help you need to deal with your stuff. But go on from that and take the next situation in and of itself. You have to learn from the hurt and the pain, learn from it, but don't apply it to everyone and everything after that. That's a mistake. And I'm saying that from direct experience of doing that. So don't do that. Second thing is, know your pain. You got to know where you have been hurt, how you've been hurt, so that when you feel it and see it again, you can recognize it. But don't let it be debilitating to you when you have been hurt. But you got to know when it raises its head, the places where you have been hurt, when it raises its head, recognize it, know what it is, and learn how to deal with it. You got to get familiar with what your pain is.
Love that.
Man,
wow.
It's coming from a psycho. When you coming from a psycho angle, it changes your perspective on receiving it.
Right.
Because now, you got to understand that, like she just really broke it down to us, literally, you have to your next relationship or that next feeling or whatever with an open mindset. You can have anything from your past or any brokenness moving forward in that. If I understand this correctly, with that one snip of that past moving forward with you, it's going to grow.
Experience.
Yeah, it's going to grow, and it's going to diverge. It's going to grow, show itself, manifest itself, should I say, to a toxic situation or a toxic action or whatever coming out of you. So, hey, man, this is so rich. I'm so, oh my gosh, my mind is blown today.
So I have a question leading into communication. So when you realize that, and I think this is important because we all had really bad brokenness and we treat people wrong because we hadn't let it go. Part A, part two. As a person of faith, which I really like how you, and let me tell you, I want to say thank you for being able to show the spiritual, the faith side of things,
yes,
and the cognitive, because we have a lot of people that listen that choose not to consider themselves a faith-based person, or someone who is not heterosexual or from whatever perspective sexually. And I want to say thank you for that, because I love the principle and the value that you get, because even if you're whatever side of that spectrum or on that wherever you are, if you can apply these things, what I'm excited about is that it will straighten it. The Bible says he'll make every crooked area straight. And then when it's straight, then you can say, God, who should I be with? How should I be with? Who am I? And that would kind of really address a lot of the not knowing who we are and the insecurities, let alone the sexual gender and all of that. But just knowing this was my problem, I'm embracing it, I need help. And cognitively, I love what you're sharing with us, because that's a brain thing. I need to sit down and think and talk through this in my mind and then with the person so that they can get what I'm getting and understand why I'm hurt or broken. So my question to you is, what was that prayer being a person of faith when you realized that you needed to change? And your husband at the time came into your life. He was really a great guy.
Mm-hmm.
Out of all these knuckleheads, he was the great guy, the great gift from God. Every good gift is perfect from God. But you realized it. What was the prayer? Because you still had brokenness. So what was that, or how did that, what did that look like? Or how, you know?
Okay, so let me tell you now, when the guy called off the engagement, I went through probably about, I think maybe 1 or 2 years of that bitterness and anger. So I had gotten very good at it, as I told you, being, what people call a bee. And I was pretty bad, about it. But between that time and my meeting my husband, I became a Christian. That's why I'm telling you, your faith has to undergird all of this. So I became a Christian, but I still had my baggage. I hadn't unpacked that stuff. I was a Christian, but I still had my baggage. So I had to unpack that. And so because I had something greater than myself, which was trusting God, God taught me to trust my husband. Well, to trust the guy who I was dating, that he would not hurt me as I had been hurt. So my prayer, Minister Fred, was to say, I'm hoping, God, that you're going to protect me because I'm going to open my heart up to this person. And I'm still afraid that I would be hurt because I didn't think I was going to come back from that first one. I didn't know if I got hurt again, if I could come back from that. But I said, God, I'm going to trust you to protect me from him.
Right, I got you right.
And so I took a chance. Wasn't right away. I opened my heart up just a little bit at the time. Just a little bit, not much. Until I knew I could trust him. But I knew that even if he did hurt me, God had me.
Right.
Even if this other person hurt me. But my prayer, Minister Fred, was for God to protect me from the pain of the hurt if it came. But
wow.
He had me.
Well, that is powerful. If it came.
Right. Oh, yeah, I was stuck on that too. She was praying the future.
Right.
Yeah.
And let me say this as we move to this other piece. And thank you for bearing with us. Thank you for taking the time. Thank you for bearing with us. It is so important because imagine the beauty of, brokenness becoming something that's whole or healed. And what I love about your story from a personal perspective, a professional and a cognitive perspective, is that you're showing us that what God says, he says, all things are possible to them that choose to believe.
Right.
And I want to say this to those, period, like myself and all of us and others, you've got to take the risk. I always say the risk to believe, the risk to be open. Let me ask you, calculating risk. Let's talk risk, and then we're going to finish the finale with communication, and we'll let you go. But this is good. And I want to say one thing, too. If you miss it today, or if you say you're listening to this today and you're saying, man, I need to share this with my girlfriend, my homies, on Monday, we will re-air this at 7:30. We're going to start reminding the folks. Every Monday, we will re-air this on our YouTube channel. All right? So, calculated risk. Hurt, and then that you have to make a risk. You've got to chance it. What are those things that you would say, personally or professionally, how do you judge what risk is worth taking in a relationship?
Okay, let me tell you something I always lived by, even before, not before, but it was after that I was hurt by the engagement being called off as a freshman. I developed over time, I think it was 5 non-negotiables for me.
Wow, okay.
Non-negotiables for me. I developed those for me. Now, first and foremost, whomever it was had to be a Christian. And this is me saying this.
I got you.
Had to be a Christian. And then secondly, they had to be secure in themselves.
Okay.
Not look to me to fix and give them everything they needed. They had to be secure in themselves because I knew that I could not be everything to them and I would fail them because I'm just a person. So they had to have their own stuff together. They did not need to be looking for me to fix them.
Come on.
I had 5 non-negotiables. Now, when I met someone, if they didn't check off on 3 of those things that I knew I could not live with, I did not waste their time. That would be unfair to them, and it was unfair to me.
Wow.
That's
powerful.
Before I got emotionally attached to them or they to me, I had my 5 things, and that I would find out over time how they fared on those 5 things. It wasn't a checklist. They were just things that were important to me. And you need to develop that yourself. You're getting 2 or 3. I had 5, but they need to be non-negotiables, meaning this. If you know that you cannot live with someone 24/7, 365, and they are not hitting on 4 out of those 5 things, why would you, in any good sense, move into a relationship with someone? I mean, don't do that. Wow. Don't do that. And that's why I'm telling you, it takes time to get to know the person. And, but you do need to take the time to find out for yourself what are your non-negotiables in a relationship, and don't compromise on those.
Thank you so much. Come on, let's put our hands together, man. Like
she says,
like
strong words.
Let me tell you something. What you bringing, what you sharing with us, like it would kill divorce by 50%.
I got to give it a higher number than that one. I'm gonna be real with you. It probably kill about 75 because she's literally hitting on all 3 levels: your mental, your physical. Because she said you have to be able to take care of yourself, and then your spiritual. Okay. You gotta have. She just told her if you have those 3, then you can possibly be ready to entertain a person. But until at least 3 out of those 5 are, why are you trying to talk to somebody? Because you yourself is not. So I feel it gotta be.
Here's the last thing I would say to you is that what you have. Tell me your name. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, you're good. We're just excited over here.
Okay, what I'm saying to you about the non-negotiables and what he was just describing, unfortunately, we tend to have what is called magical thinking. Magical thinking is you are looking at what you know you cannot live with. Your non-negotiables. And you are thinking that somehow it's just going to work out. It doesn't. Don't do magical thinking.
Is that the same thing like trying to change a person, like, thinking you can change a person, but they're not? The only way the person can change if they actually want to.
Thank you very much. Spot on. That's what I'm talking about. And
Dr. Scissorhand, you gave him a doctor today. He'll be DJ next week.
What Maya Angelou said is true. When someone shows you who they are the first time, believe them.
Okay. Wow. Come on, let's one more again.
And to help all of you feel really good, I would say that normally if you came into a regular counseling session with me, this would be $120 an hour.
All right. Come on now.
Did y'all hear that at home?
Okay, so let's do a commercial break. Huh? It's a commercial break. So can you tell us your site so people can, it's deepwatersconsulting.com?
Yeah, now right now, correct. Right now my webpage is not completed yet because I'm in the place of revising it.
Okay.
Now, just use my email address, and it's Minister Fred has it. It's 465@gmail.com. Smith465@gmail.com. And I'll have the website up, record on the counseling service is Deep Waters Counseling and Consulting Service. It's out of Proverbs 20 and verse 5, which says, the purposes of the heart are deep waters, but understanding draws them out.
Ooh, understanding.
All right, so Professor X, why don't you throw that up there? Let's keep her information up there. We'll try and figure it out. We'll make sure that we put it on our website. Obviously, we'll jump into that on all our social media platforms. I want to wrap this thing up because we always close with our God's mailbox, and I think this is very fitting. We talked about risk, calculated risk. We talked about the magical moments versus the cognitive, rational thinking. Let's dig just a tad bit into communication. So you take the risk, you begin to spend time, quality time learning. What are some key things in how we should communicate to each other across the line, a male to female, female to male, or significant other? Just some practical things so that because the scripture says, it's not what goes in, it's what comes out.
Mm-hmm.
We can say I love you, and then I'll be like, you make me sick. What came out my mouth just killed the moment. It killed anything that could come out right. And especially we as men, because we're just very direct. And like you said, even when you were in position of a high authority at, in the educational setting, and those guys just say, people, especially in the South, people say any doggone thing. They don't care. I work in the government. They say anything. You're like, did he really?
Yeah.
So there's just a few practical things so that as we speak to our friends, our moms, our significant, and specifically, I'm going to do it from male to female, female to male, in that role, because like this young man has a daughter.
Uh-huh.
I have no kids, but I work with over 5,000 in my employment and what I'm doing with No More Dirty. This guy has little ones. How do we speak life into them communicatively and relationally so that it makes it really nice for the significant other, that person in your life? You're like, man, I love the way he talks to his kids. I love the way he talks to me. What you want, baby? What you want, girl? We got to get it juicy. Real talk. Okay, AG.
Okay, so let me say something to both, to males and to females. And if you're listening there, you probably have to take some notes because we can't throw it up on the screen. Right. Very carefully to this. We communicate even when we are not talking with words. Now, about 68% of your communication is nonverbal. 68% of your communication is nonverbal. It's your eyes, your mouth, your jaw, your body language. 25% of your communication is the tone of your voice. And only 7% of your communication are the actual words that you use.
Wow.
So 93% of your communication is never spoken.
Wow.
Now, we use the 93 to validate the 7% that is said. Yes. Look at your behavior. We listen to the tone of your voice. We look at your body language to see if it matches what you say. Yes. So you got to keep that in mind. And your believability, whether someone believes you or not, 84% of your believability is in the tone of your voice.
Wow.
That old saying that goes, it's not what you said, it's how you said it.
Wow.
So now that goes for males and for females.
Okay.
Understand, that is why when we on the internet only had the typing, texting and all of that, that is why we had to have emojis added to convey what we were not seeing.
Wow.
Face there because you could misunderstand the words when you're absent, seeing the face and hearing the voice.
Wow. Okay. Gotcha.
So you have to put the emojis to it to connote the emotion that you weren't seeing. Now, for females, when you are communicating with males, and they won't admit it, but I'm talking to the females here. When you're communicating with males, there are three things that are really important to them. And listen up, ladies, on this. First and foremost, what they want more than anything else is your respect. They want it more than they want it from their boss, from their mama. They want your respect. The second thing that's most important to them is that you believe in them. An example of that is their work. Their number two, you believe in them. Their work is an example. Their work is an extension of who they are. Do not criticize him in this area because it's who he is. The third thing is his sexual prowess. Very important to him. Those three things for the women: your respect for him, his sexual prowess, number two, and the type of work that he does. In those three areas, you want to tread lightly and always encourage him and be his champion in each one of those areas. Now, for the males.
Yes, please.
What the females want more than anything else, she needs to know that you love her and only her. She needs to know that. You don't need to just tell her with your mouth. You need to be able to show her behaviorally that you love her. Listen very carefully to this next thing, guys, is that you need to understand that, let's see, sexual intimacy with a female is not just sexual intimacy with a female. Making begins at the beginning of the day with how you talk to me, what you say to me. Calling me up in the middle of the day and just telling me how you feel about me, that's lovemaking. It's not just a sexual expression. It is the verbal. Those things I was telling you about,
yes.
How you let her know you care about her.
That's it. That'll work. That's it.
I want to encourage all of you, and you can pick this up. I think you can get it from Walmart. There's a DVD you can get. It's called Soulmate, S-O-U-L, Mate, M-A-T-E. I would encourage all of you to please get that and look at it. It will answer a lot of things we just said. It's called Soulmate.
Amen.
I'll look it up.
Amen.
I'll look it up.
Wow. So, wow. Any last question, man? Like, listen.
I'm blown away. I don't know.
Wow. This is good. So, it's so good that we're gonna put your information, your Gmail, so people can get in touch with you as well. And we're gonna bless you too as well, because we thank you for taking time to be with us. Then we want to thank your husband for allowing us this time, this hour, to spend with us. We thank you. We really appreciate it.
I will tell him that.
Yes, tell him that.
He's a happy guy. I keep him happy.
Hey, it's
I believe with the knowledge that you have. I believe.
Great. What is it? Oh, baby. That dude hollered, you know what I mean? No, seriously, but we appreciate you. Any closing words you want to share with our folks and us as well? And then we'll close out that and let you go.
I want to encourage everyone to do everything that you can to find the right person for you and be committed to them. That's a rarity these days in the world we live in. Unfortunately, people make promises and break them. When you make a commitment to someone to say that I will love you forever, that's really what that means. And it is possible to do that. It is possible to be married to someone for 41 years, love them more at 41 than you did when you first met them.
Right.
Deeper and deeper and deeper in love with someone every year. It is entirely possible. So, and what you do by doing that, you create a home environment that healthy people live in, and they can leave that home environment a healthy whole person and go out into the world and replicate that. That's what you want to do.
Wow. Wow.
She said replicate.
Replicate. I was like, she was like, she said, no, she didn't say duplicate.
She said
Yes.
Replicate.
You want to keep that going.
Do a short run of 50 or 25. She said replicate. In other words,
she's
you know,
like,
when
you're
you
going to
go
build this thing, and then that thing is going to build.
Yes.
you build the machine and it'll go. It's automatic
Yeah.
process. Scissor, want to say anything to the sis?
I'm just thankful. I've been through a lot of seen a lot of counselors, so it's very needed because I don't know. It's a blessing to have you on this, have you in the moment with us to be able to share to our audience and the ones, just to get this experience the way we present it here. So thank you very much.
Oh, you all are welcome. And I did mean what I said. If I can be of any help, I'm glad to do it. Minister Fred is doing good work, and I'm glad to help in any way I can. I don't say it as a platitude, I mean it. So if I can assist in any way, I will do that. I'm going to send Minister Fred just some information to show you what's coming up. Something is coming up on the 25th. I'm speaking to ministers about COVID-19 and the resistance from people of color, and what we need to do to try and help people understand you don't need to be afraid of it and so forth. So things like that we always need to be serving and helping each other. So any way that I can help, I'm glad to do that. And God bless you all. And thank you for the good work you are doing. It makes a difference.
Wow. Come on, let's put our hands together for Dr. Dolores Smith. Let me ask a question. On the 19th, is this going to be something virtually that we can Zoom, bring it into our session and what have you?
You mean the thing I just mentioned?
Yes.
It's on the 25th of February. That's Thursday.
Okay.
You can sign up for it. It's free. And when I send you the information, there is a place where you register. It's free. There's no charge for it.
Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna look at it. Let's see we'll talk offline. Let's see how we can bring this back.
Okay.
We reach a lot of people, Doc, and maybe we could just do a special Thursday night here and just open this thing up and support your platform. And then we're going to also make sure that on our website, we'll have you as our go-to guru so they can go directly to you. Because this is, and again, we're doing this thing buy black, buy brown, buy back. So we believe in supporting our people, not just in good business, but people of color doing good business. And you will be that person. You will be Deep Waters Consulting. And
Counseling and consulting.
That's going to be on our website. You just need to click it and it'll go to your email. So if you are needing this kind of, and then she has a wealth of knowledge and she has a way of doing it that's professional, confidential, and that's affordable. That's affordable.
Yeah.
I know I refer people all the time and it ain't that price. I'm telling you. So it's affordable. Really, so we want to celebrate you, but we also want to promote what you're doing.
Great.
Thank you for doing that as well. I'd like to pray for you.
Please do.
You know what I mean? Because I think it's,
yes.
and we can do, let me do the prayer this time, and then we can throw some music up. We do a thing called God's Mailbox. Why don't you share what we do, and I'll pray, and then we'll give people time to do that, and then we'll wrap up with our just some good music on this one. Is just dope. You can throw some of that lovey-dovey. Okay. We ain't got to do no freestyle today, maybe.
I know, right.
Yeah, this just good. This just, I'm like, wow.
I know, me too. But ladies and gentlemen, family and friends that are home, we've gotten some really, really rich information. We got a historical information, but we also got some practical tools that we can use to become better people in relationships. Now, relationships can be used for any platform, business, our significant others. We have to know how to communicate to people in the right way. So here's the perfect time right now, before Minister Perez says his prayer and prays over Doc today. This is that time to where you could just take out that pen and paper. We already know, write the vision and make it plain. Whatever is on your heart, leave it to God. Whatever your relationship status is, whatever your future, whatever you want it to be, we've learned. She showed us that she prayed for her future, so the future can be protected. So that was really rich. So right now you have the time to just write it down, give it to God, and leave it there. And I promise you, He's going to answer. So Minister Fred, just take the time and intercess for the relationships, for everything that we're going through right now in the world today, and that we can kind of build those relationships, have those conversations, those right conversations, and actually seek healthy counseling to make us whole people. So trust over that.
All right, let's do this, man. God, we want to say thank you so much for the opportunity to be alive, to glean so much knowledge. You said, Lord, before we even asked, you have already heard our request. Then you said, when we make our petition known, you're ready to do it now. We do it throughout our day. You have already created, designed, and provided the remedy. So first, we want to say thank you for blessing us with the opportunity to spend a few minutes with Dr. Dolores Smith. We thank you for her husband and his willingness to allow us this time. We thank you for her blessed business, Deep Waters, counseling and consulting, Lord. And we ask first and foremost that you would bless her over and abundantly above what she's already done, what she's capable of doing, and what she will continue to do to elevate relationships, minds, and ultimately make really disciples after your own heart. We thank you for the forgiveness of our sins and the sins of all. We thank you for giving your life, Yeshua the Christ, and so that we can be free and that we can live. Now, Lord, as we do every Saturday Sabbath, we do this session, Bible Beats and Bars. We do God's Mailbox. We thank you for Sister Dawson, who had brought this, who opened up her heart and this idea. We thank you for so many people around the world have just sent us information, said, man, this thing works. And God, we thank you for being the healer and the great physician and for working things out. Now, Lord, as we write down our thoughts, our appreciation, our concerns, our worries, our fears, and puts it in an envelope, and as we give it to you as they did in the biblical time, they would take their prayers and lay their hand on that sheep or that dove or that lamb that was without spot and blemish. That's you. You would take it and you would bear the sins and the concerns of the people. So today, as we give you our prayer request through this God's Mailbox experience, we ask that you would do as you have did in the day of Pentecost and all through the years. You would come down and consume the issue so that we would be not dirty, but we would be clean. We give you praise and honor in advance. We ask that you will be with every relationship that is going through something, every relationship that is actually in a good place, every situation that is torn and will not come back together for whatever reason. We ask that you will restore their life. Those who are trying to figure it out, those that are with children and are struggling with how to do what needs to be done, and those that are coming into the picture who have no children that want to be a blessing. But Lord, you bless all of it so for your glory and for our healthiness and for our sake. In the name of Yeshua the Christ, who is Jesus of the Bible, we say thank you in advance, and let everyone on this stage say amen.
Yes.
Man, that's what's up, man. Come on, let's give it up one more time for Dr. Dolores.
Well, I thank you all, and God bless you all.
Thank you so much. God bless. Salute.
Man, DJ, Minister Fred, that was I feel motivated.
Yeah, man.
I feel let's see if this makes it language wise, I feel relationship motivated. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
yeah, you ready to do some new things, be great again, man.
Right. And you know what I think what I love about what Dr. Dolores did is she helped us see that what Christ said, he said that you can be whole. All through the New Testament, all through the Old Testament, he would say there was, well, he did this, she did that. I messed up in 5 relationships. I've been divorced 2 times, 3 times. I've been this, I've been that. And he said, I didn't ask you any of that. Do you, Fred, Scissor, Dre the drummer, do you out there listening, do you want to be made whole? We ain't got to keep discussing this. Do you want this? Do you want something better? You know? And I just think she just reminded us that there is better.
Yes.
Better days after a while.
And you deserve better. So
Yeah,
don't beat
yes.
yourself up
Right.
and put yourself down like that.
Yes.
And we can grow. You know what I mean? So we pray that this has been a blessing to you. We're gonna do our prayer request, play us a little something, man, and then we're gonna let y'all levitate on this good music. We ain't gonna do no freestyle tonight. We just want you to, and if you have a relationship that's broken, take the time and go spend it. Make a call. You know what I mean? Send a text and say, listen, I blew it. I know we may not get back together, but I just want you to know that I'm going to be better and I am sorry. Or it might be, listen, I'm not giving up on this relationship.
Me too.
I'm gonna get me some help and then I'm coming back at you if you're available. You know what I mean? Or Lord, I'm just a dog. I don't know how to be a gentleman. I don't know how to be a queen. I've been doing all kind of craziness, laying and getting up, laying and just tell him. Like at some point, you'd have told everything else. I've told everything. I've done some stupid stuff. But he is a way maker. He is the way maker. So listen to the words of this song. We're gonna write our prayer request and then we're gonna get out on something uplifting, or we might just go out on this
Valentine mix.
Oh, you gonna do a
Valentine mix? You got a Valentine mix?
Love mix, man.
A little bit. That's gonna be a little freestyle. We're gonna just vibe with it. All right, so let's get this prayer thing. Come on back.
Let's go ahead and write this down, y'all. Let's write it.
Valentine's, you already know.
A breaking up. Although sometimes you have to walk alone. Now you ask yourself, is there a word from the Lord? Oh, from the Lord. You need a blessing, and you need it right away. God is concerned, and He's working it out for you. No peace. There's no peace on the job. The bills are due, and your health is failing too. God is concerned, and He's working it out for you. I know that He is. I know that He is. He's working it out. He's working out the problem right now. Yes, He is. He's working it out. You don't have to worry about it no more. He's working it out. God is concerned about your troubles. Yes, He is. He's working it out. For you. God really cares. I'm so glad to know He cares. He cares about you, yes He does. I'm so glad to know He cares. And He's working it out for you. Yes He is. Yeah. He's working it out. He's got healing in His wings for you. He's working it out. He's got your mother on His heart. He's working it out. He sees everything that you're going through right now. He's working it out for you. God cares. Yes, He does. I'm so glad to know He cares.
working it out for you and you, for you and you.
Oh, y'all know what's gonna happen.
Working it out. The problem has got too big for you. Yes, it has. You cannot solve it on your own. Working it out. God told me to tell you, you've seen your tears. Working it out. He's ready to wipe the tears out. Yes, yes, he does. He really does. He cares all about your problem. Yes, he does. He's got healing in his wings waiting for you. He's working it all for you.
Hey, man, it's always something about that Shirley Caesar, man. Shirley, man, you can be the toughest dude. You can never cry. But as soon as Shirley start talking to your mama Shirley,
she gonna mess you up.
When she start talking to you in that song, you have no choice but to say, Grandma, you right.
Right.
He working it out for me. Because he's doing it. He's doing this thing.
Wow. We got some steak, potatoes, griller patties, veggie links. We got it all, man. Meat and potatoes.
Man, I'm ready to love. I'm ready to love the world, right?
Yeah, man. For real.
when she said, you got to go to each experience.
Yeah, man.
Clean. That's so deep.
Yeah,
because
man.
unknowingly, in relationships, we start off talking about the past. I do.
Right.
Every encounter I have had, when it even comes to a conversation, I always present myself from the past.
Right.
And I'm literally building the foundation on sand at that point.
That's what it is.
That was
man.
so mind blowing.
That's what it is. And you got to be told that because
you do.
It's a learned behavior.
It is so learned behavior because we feel like we're doing the right thing by telling someone about
being honest
our fault. But we're taking it like we're being honest. But she gave us a psyche eval on like, yo, you can't do this because you literally hurting your future.
Right.
In your moment.
Right.
And we argue, and this is a big argument that we always have. Can you stay in the moment? I just need you to be in the moment. Why can't you be in the moment? Like, oh my God! Like when I say I'm gone right now, like I'm so gone. I'm man. Ooh, that was such a blessing today, man.
But you know what? Here's again, we want to say to everyone that took the time to tune in and check us. Thank you so much. Like, we are not just here doing this just to be doing this. We really want you to get what God has given us. Like every week, it is just dope. Every concept, every time we get some, I mean, it's never boring. It's never whack. It is always spot on.
It's what you need to
start your week. It's what we need in the moment that can impact us for our future.
Man, that's gonna be. I'm gonna have to find a way to make that a tag. The moment. Stay in the moment for your future. That's the word today. That's the word. I knew it was gonna come.
Hey, Professor, put that up, man. Hey, man.
It was gonna come today. I knew it was gonna come. Stay in the moment for your future.
Wow. Come on, let's give it up for Professor X, making sure y'all get this and he's visually on point. We want to thank our young. Yeah, actually, that's give it up for
Junior back there.
Junior holding it down, man. Scissorhand Junior. Oh no, I know that's not your name, but you know,
Devon,
Devon, man. Let's give it up for Devon and is there as well. And we gonna get this food out. We kill it. We smash it.
I've been thinking about that red velvet cookie.
For real. Well, you want to give us the closing, man?
All right, let's go ahead and do it. DJ, how we gonna close this up today? All right, ladies and gentlemen. It's love is in the air. It's cold outside, so go ahead and get your blankets, get your hot cocoa, and all of that good stuff, and watch you a good movie or go hang out. But let's be honest. We have to keep those lines of communication open. Yeah. We have to open our minds up to receive who that person is, and most of all, we can't rush. Let's stop rushing things. Patience is a virtue. I ain't got too much more for y'all because, man, I have to marinate in what I learned today because I personally got some tools that I'm going to put into action in my personal life. That's one thing I want you to know. Just because I'm up here, don't think that I know it all. I'm learning just like you are. So that's why we need you to tune in each and every week. And that's why we come to family, because we learn each and every week. We're going to learn something new. Because if a man is not learning something daily, he's not doing anything. That's all I got for you today. Make sure you travel very, very gracefully throughout this world by shedding so much love, because the world is hurting and all we need right now is love. Stay tuned for DJ Scissorhand. Come back with us. Y'all already know. Y'all already know. Come check us out. You got something going on tonight?
Hey, that's right. Tonight.
What you doing tonight? 9 p.m. on G93. That's on 365 Live, man. It's the Scissorhands radio show, variety and all that. You know what I'm saying? It's clean, too.
Oh, it's what?
Clean. You know what I'm saying? Just like brush the dirt off shoulder type of thing.
Like it's white, bro.
Yeah, so we got, oh, dang. Hold on. When I gotta check you out too.
And you go just jump on tomorrow, right? It's gonna be all good. Sunday on Valentine's Day. And yo, the show is gonna be bananas.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be Snoop.
Oh yeah.
That show's gonna be Snoop. Yo, y'all gotta tune in. This Valentine's show is gonna be crazy.
Shout out to my man Ed Gaines for being our new partner, man, in the syndication business. We are on G93 again, 5 p.m. And then we also at 6 p.m. on our sister brother family station, We Up 103.1. Shout out to Mr. Bats. And my man, I always do this. I'm going to do this. DJ Scissor, C-Z, Caesar. Man, that's my homie, man. He always makes sure we on right. So shout out to my man and We Up, man, the board mixer. Blessings and, man, let's just do this, man. And happy Valentine's Day. This is from us to you. Let's go. Enjoy that joy.
Have a great weekend, y'all. We vibing out, y'all. DJ Scissorhand, take us out. Turn your TVs up. Grandma, go ahead and rock your chair. This vibe is for you. Y'all have a blessed weekend.
I was rolling in my car when I pulled up at the mall. Couldn't find a place to park. Threw my keys to the valley. I was only there to hang, wasn't looking for a thing. I was just about to bounce. And then I saw Miss Lady. Then I said to myself, my destiny only is one for me. There go my lady. Look at her. Oh, Lord. She the one. She was
this is for y'all right here.
Oh, I've been thinking of you.
You out of control, Susan. Well, this is going to be a great lovey-dovey weekend.
Oh, I'll give all that I have if you give all that I need. And oh, let's be fair. And I think it's time we clear the air. You've been watching me, I've been watching you. You know I've been wanting to prove with you. Girl, speak your mind. With you. You've been thinking all of this time. Oh, baby, what I wouldn't do. Spending my days with you. This is a man's world. This is a man's world. Say
that thing, say it.
But it would be nothing without a woman or a girl.
What's up, Drake? Nah, you getting that way. I gotta get mine. He about to get that.
See, man made the cars to take us over the road. Man made the train to carry the heavy load. Man made the electric light to take us out of the dark. Man made the boat for the water, like Noah made the ark. This is a man's world. But it wouldn't be nothing, not a woman or a girl. I don't want anybody else. If I can't be with you, I'd rather be by myself. And I don't want anybody else. If I can't be with you, I'd rather be by myself.
My name is Tobechukwu Dubem. I'm an Igbo boy from the southwest side of Houston, Texas, and it is an honor to be able to do our version of Wake Up Everybody by the legendary Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, a.k.a. Teddy Pendergrass. So today, as you hear my baby talking in the background, I am Toby Pendergrass. Let's go. Wake up, everybody, no more sleeping in bed. No more backwards thinking, time for thinking ahead. The world has changed so very much from what it used to be. There is so much hatred, war and poverty. Wake up, all you teachers, time to teach a new way. Maybe then they'll listen to what you have to say. Cause they're the ones who's coming up and the world is in their hands. So when you teach the children, teach them the very best you can. World won't get no better. Yeah. If you just let it be. The world won't get no better. We gotta change it, yeah. For you and me. For you and me. For you and me. For you and me. Wake up, all you doctors, make the old people well. They're the ones who suffer and catch all the hell. But they don't have so very long before the judgment day. So won't you make them happy before they pass away? Wake up, all you builders, time to build a new land. I know we can do it if we all lend a hand. The only thing we have to do is put it in our mind. Surely things will work out. They do it every time. Do it every time. Everybody sing. The world won't get no better if you just let it be. The world won't get no better. We gotta change it, yeah. For you and me. For you and me. For you and me. For you and me. Yeah. The world won't get no better. The hood won't get no better. The world won't get no better. We gotta change it, yeah. Just you and me. Everybody say the world won't get no better. The hood won't get no better. The world won't get no better. We gotta change it, yeah. Just you and me. You and me. Just you and me. You and me. You and me. You and me. Sing, Maya.
The world won't get no better. And my heart won't get no better. The world won't get no better. We gotta change it, yeah. You and me.
Talk to him, Luke.
The world won't get no better. My hood won't get no better. The world won't get no better. We gotta change it, yeah, for you and me.
Talk to him, Dave.
The world won't get no better. My hood won't get no better.
Yeah.
World won't get no better. You gotta change it, yo.
Yeah.
You and me. You and me, 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 you and me. You gotta change it, yo. 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 You gotta change. 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 You gotta change.
No music.
You gotta change. 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 You gotta change.
My name is Pkwy Dubem. I'm from the southwest side of Houston, Texas. We love y'all. Make the change. Don't let 2021 be 2020 part 2 for you. You know what I'm saying? We love y'all. Shout out to my Uncle Nell. Shout out to the keyboard kid, Nick Humes. Shout out to David Michael White, Luke Whitney, Maya Tucker. My queen, my everything except my G.O.D. FAT. My wife Fat. And my babies. Baby Fat, come here. There you go. Come here, my baby. She is a clown. Come on, my baby. Do me a favor, look there, say hi. Say hi. And we love y'all. Peace.